Good morning, gang. Hope you're doing well. It's another day, it's another dollar. So welcome to Talk Crypto. And yeah, today we're going to talk about just the risks. This is your first rodeo, and this is your first bull run that you're going to be experiencing. I just want to share a story that I came across the other day. Now, before I dive into it, I can't speak properly this morning. Please do like the video, share and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Thanks for all those new subscribers. Yeah, we're a new channel, so obviously your support is greatly appreciated. So let me dive into the video. So I think this is really pertinent if this is your first bull run and you know, your first rodeo, and there's a story I came across, a video I came across with a lady who posted a video about a year ago, maybe a bit longer now, and she had lost $1 million on her Nexo account. Now, there was actually nothing wrong with I think it was the Nexo account per se. Basically, long story short, she had borrowed against her Bitcoin, and at this time about a year ago or so, Bitcoin was crashing, and so basically she had to provide more collateral to make sure that she wasn't liquidated from her position. So long story short, what is, back then there was all these products, Celsius, Nexo, BlockFi. You could borrow money against your crypto, and that's certainly going to be something that I'm sure will be reappearing if it's if it's not already there now. And what the point is, this, guys, it's this bull run is going to go so crazy. You have got no idea. This bull run is going to blow your mind in terms of how much money you're going to feel like you're making. You're going to feel electrified, you're going to feel ecstatic. It's going to be absolutely insane. Genuinely, if you've never experienced it before, it's bonkers. But the biggest challenge in lots of respects is not to get too greedy, not to be that magpie that goes after the next shiny thing. It's really keeping a clear, calm head, knowing that it will not always be like this. And whenever we go through that first bull run, you will make mistakes, you will lose money, and all of these things will happen without a doubt. It happened to me. I had a bit of money on BlockFi, trying to get a little bit of yield. That's a whole other story I won't bore you with now. BlockFi's actually dealt with it really well, and they're coming through, and it looks like we're going to be getting some of our funds back, which is great. Anyway, long story short is, genuinely, you don't have to overcomplicate it. It's really about keeping a calm head and not going crazy, not trying to borrow money against your crypto, and then suddenly, crypto is a massively volatile asset, so it will swing wildly. And if you're on the wrong side of a trade, if you're over leveraged, in other words, your LTV, loan to value, is high potentially, then you've got a massive risk of, if prices come down significantly, which they do in crypto, you could get liquidated from your position and lose all your crypto. And this is exactly what happened to this poor lady. It was very brave of her to post that video, and it was really interesting watching it as a historical reference point. Thinking back, oh yeah, because obviously when we watch most of these videos, particularly in crypto, it's very much we watch the videos of the now. What's the latest news, what's the latest talking point, what's the latest project. But actually, it's worth taking your time to look at some historical videos to get a reference of what things were like then, when the chaos was imploding. So it's really, really interesting, and actually you can actually glean quite a lot from watching those historical videos, because when at the time of those videos were published, you know, not everyone was aware of the full picture, if that makes sense. So now you all are aware of the full picture. It's very, you know, you look at those old videos with a different lens compared to if you were watching them at that time in history, at that moment in time. So yeah, it's this, you know, obviously, you know, she wasn't the only one, I'm sure, and it was very brave of her to do that video. But the point was, you know, she obviously, for whatever reason, borrowed against Bitcoin, and yeah, lost all the money because of she got liquidated, and she can for whatever reason add to her position to prevent her from that happening. So you don't do things like that, guys. Just keep it simple. Don't get greedy. Don't borrow against your crypto. Don't even like chasing the yields. Like, oh wow, you're gonna get, you know, a few percent here, a few percent there, by putting it on a centralized, you know, exchange. I mean, just by holding crypto, just by being in crypto, you're going to be getting absolutely insane gains. So do you need to be risking, you know, your crypto with a, you know, 2024 version of Celsius, when, you know, we know Celsius was a bad actor? They pretended they weren't. You know, they fooled everybody, but they were a bad actor. You know, as they say, not your keys, not your coins. So, you know, anytime you put your crypto on any centralized exchange, you know, you've got a risk of losing all your money. So you've got to be very mindful of that. You know, if you are going to use exchanges or companies to hold your crypto, then do your due diligence. You know, really just, you know, see if there's, you know, old videos about any issues. See if they've, you know, managed to fix those in the, you know, those problems in the past, and that maybe those issues aren't issues anymore. Hopefully most of the bad players are out of the space now, but you know, but we don't know. There's always bad actors that come into crypto when there's a bull market, and it's easy to make money. So I think just be very mindful of it, and, you know, yeah, it's going to be absolute crazy times. You're going to get you're going to just, it's hard to translate this information if you've never experienced it, but genuinely you're going to feel like this is, you know, you're absolutely the king. But just remember, it's not going to, you know, just be very careful where you put your money. Split it across multiple exchanges if you're going to use exchanges. Get some hardware wallets, so actually you're not always storing all your crypto on exchanges. And yeah, just don't make silly mistakes like borrowing against your crypto by chasing after, you know, crazy yields with centralized exchanges that actually is just a big Ponzi. So just be very, very careful. You know, you're going to be successful just by buying and holding. And indeed, you know, when I talk about being a magpie, it's very common that people dip their toe into Bitcoin and they go, oh, actually, and I feel a bit comfortable, and oh, I've heard somebody else talk about this project and it's going to be, you know, 1,000,000x. Oh yeah, you know, let's chase after that. And then something else pops up. Oh, let's chase after an influencer says about this token and this project, and oh, that sounds good. Oh, let's get in quick. You know, you've just got to just be careful. Just be careful, because most of the projects will absolutely burn and go to zero at some point. So chasing after the next thing and chasing after the money, and, you know, just by being in the space and playing it sensibly, you will do phenomenally well. Yes, you know, you'll always hear those stories where somebody puts a tenner into some project and it turns into £1 million, or, you know, whatever it is. It's, you know, but for most people that's not going to happen unless you've got inside knowledge and all the rest of it. And usually then it's a bit of a pump and dump scheme. So you just got to be sensible, guys. I know this is sometimes a bit boring to hear, you're not going to be sensible, because if it's your first rodeo, you're going to do what you think's best, and of course everyone always does what they think's right to do. You know, so you know, you're going to make your own mistakes, but don't say I didn't tell you. But just be careful. That's what I'm saying. Just be careful. Just question yourself. Just say, yeah, Ben was I did a video, I saw Ben talking about it, maybe I'll just be a bit cautious. By just being in the space, you're going to do really well, genuinely. You don't have to overcomplicate it. Don't borrow against your crypto. That's massively risky. On that point, I will say one thing though. The mega wealthy cleverly leverage their assets by borrowing to ensure that they're not paying tax. But what we're talking about there is, you know, maybe they're borrowing 5% LTV, so 5% against the loan to value of their assets. So it's an insignificant amount against their overall asset base, and they can easily, you know, manage that position. So it's unlikely they're going to get liquidated, and if they are, they can easily sell other assets to maybe improve their LTV position. So it's, for most people, it's probably not a sensible thing to do. You need to be very financially disciplined and organized. If you're borrowing, you know, a significant LTV, that's just way too high risk, and especially in crypto. You know, we get 20%, you know, drops, 30% drops, 50% drops. You know, I think when this lady was doing the video, we were probably at about 80% of a drop for Bitcoin. So it's you know, if you're borrowing 40% of the loan to value and the asset drops by 80%, you're stuffed unless you can find more money to put into the deal. But yeah, just be careful, guys. It's a word of caution, really, and I think it's worth thinking about before we go too crazy, because we haven't even started yet. We haven't even hit the halving. The halving is, I think it's around about the 20th of this month, 20th of April. So you're super early. Don't just, and don't, I mean, geez, don't worry about the price right now. I mean, long term, it's going to go crazy. So it's genuinely still a great time to be DTAing. Equally, on the $1 a day challenge I'm doing, just to share with you quickly, I got my $1 of Bitcoin today. What was it? 1831, I think it was. So 1,831 sats. If you're new to the channel, this is something I'm doing every day. Just encourage you to just keep on accumulating your sats and just dip your toe in, even if it's $1. So that's my little update for my $1 a day challenge. Going to be doing it for roughly 10 years and see where things play out. Just to encourage you guys to do something similar and just to buy a little bit of Bitcoin if you're new to the space. So listen, guys, thanks so much for watching, yeah, like, subscribe, and keep tuned in. I'll catch up with you later. Take care.